Okay, pick up Billy.
Billy can stand. Can you not hold this to the camera like that?
It's running.
Oh, it's running. Oh, hi. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Cari, and this is Grandma. This is Gail. We are regulars on the station, but today we have some extra special guests that we're so excited to introduce to you. And you've probably seen them before if you've been following my channel for a while. But this is my Aunty Claire.
Hi, nice to hear you.
And this is my cousin Billy.
Good job.
And my cousin Aly. So we are gonna learn how to make Aunty Claire's awesome Shoyu Poke recipe. And we're gonna also do a couple other different poke variations. So we're just excited for that, and I hope you enjoy.
So we want to just pay a special tribute to the fact that this knife here is Grandpa Tamamoto's knife, and so it's his special sashimi fish cutting knife. It's got the Japanese characters on it, and it's very, very sharp. So we're going to take it away from Grandma.
It also says Tamamoto. Oh, this
It
is
says Tamamoto, and I think her first son should inherit it. So because Uncle Warren could not be here with us, and he normally is the one that cuts the fish for us, he pre-cut the fish, some of the fish for us, into blocks already.
Cut this piece off tomorrow for you to take tomorrow. Yeah, so this part here is good. You take this part out, the blood where the circulation is, and this will be the nice sashimi meat. This part here is to cook, and this part in here is also, I guess, kind of like a little bit of like a small fillet. So then we're gonna go this way. Part, when you cook it, actually becomes, you can't tell, but you can't, when you eat it raw, it's really stringy.
Would you eat that with sashimi? Make that sashimi?
This part here?
Yeah.
I don't know, up to you, you can.
Okay.
It's nice enough. Kind of, it will be funny looking. But
Already. We trimmed off, and so this is all ahi. This is the ahi. And this is a new fish called striped marlin. It's a little softer in color, and what we want to do is turn this fish into little cubes like this to make poke. So that's some of our poke cut up already. And if you notice on the fish, it has some blood parts, and also on the very edges, he's trimmed off most of it. There's this white suji-like part. And Uncle Warren said, if you see this video and it doesn't match anything you know, he's not an expert. He wanted to put a disclaimer on. Okay, so we also kept these parts, see how it has all this white stringy part? This can just come off if you pull it off like this, it comes off, but it's tough to eat raw, so it's better if you cook it, because once you cook it, it becomes very soft. So we can save this later for frying and cooking. So in the olden days, you didn't want to waste any food, because it was very hard to come by food in the olden days, right, Grandma?
Right.
Good job. So this is striped marlin. Mom, you want to cut this? So you have to cut it so that you get kind of a little. You want to have the grain show. So Mom, you want to cut it?
So Aunty Claire, where did you get your fish from? It looks very fresh.
We got our fish from, we get it from my fish guy. I call him Garrett Kitazaki. He's from Diamond Head Seafood.
And so what is your experience of making poke and...
Probably the reason I had started with it is because I go pick up the fish, and Garrett says, I said, what am I supposed to do with it, Garrett? And then he tells me that, oh, you just take a little bit of Yamasa shoyu is, well, we don't get paid by Yamasa, but this is, he feels it's a little milder soy sauce. We use this, and we just use Sriracha.
Well,
Okay, and so we're gonna take and let me help you.
And wash your
Take
hands,
it,
Grandma.
and we're gonna put it on the plate like this. Usually we put it on a bed of cabbage or lettuce, so it makes it look nicer.
cut this.
Yeah, I'll cut it.
You can.
Yeah, I think
can?
so. Yes, I think so.
Billy, smart that. Billy,
No,
you smart.
it's a tiny piece. She's almost done.
So you cut it, and then you kind of lay it down.
So growing up, did you guys eat poke growing up?
No, actually we didn't.
Oh, good story.
I don't know why.
When did you start eating poke?
When I started to help make it for the church luau's or parties, because people liked it, and then I was able to get the fish for one, and so then when we got the fish, let's put these pieces here. Sorry. When we got the fish, then we were able to I had to learn how to cut it and make it. Well, so Uncle Warren is the one that cuts it. So this is good for frying later on. Yeah, see, it has all this white suji part here that will just come off. Hopefully I won't fling it at you, Cari. You can see that this is a Marlin, which is a little rosier color, and this is Ahi, which is red. So he's already kind of trimmed it, and he also took the skin off of it. Already trimmed it. So you want to take out the blood part, Billy. So you want to cut it. You know how to do this.
You can do it before or after. It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, whatever you want to do there.
No. You can do it before or after, whichever way you want. It just depends how many cuts you want to make, I think.
So Aunty Claire, generally, how much would you say it costs for how much fish is this?
Well, right now fish is really expensive because everybody is asking, clamoring for it back. Las Vegas is open. They're sending it to Las Vegas. The restaurants are open.
What do you want this?
Just kept.
So how much would you say? Like
This is roughly
this amount of fishes.
3 pounds or so.
I mean, if you didn't have a fish guy,
I didn't have a fish guy. It's running about $20 a pound.
oh,
But you want this? The
so
poke?
3 pounds would be about $60 for.
Right.
That's quick. I could have been a mathematician.
That was come on.
That was come on.
Fishing one time. He wanted to impress me when I was still, I don't think I was married yet too. Yeah, when we went fishing to South Point on the Big Island. South Point is the very last point of the Big Island. It is
the most
when you look out, all you see is water.
South of the point.
South
Point in Big Island. That's the most southern point of the entire United States.
So we went fishing there, and it's a very popular fishing spot, and it's up high on a cliff, and you put out little rafts, and with bait hanging down, and you toss it out, and the tide takes it out, and you catch fish with it, and you pull it back in. So we were out there in the middle of the night, and then out of the corner of my eye, I saw a movement on the rock. So I saw a movement out, and so I stood up in this little well. I just stood up, and everybody said, "Sit down, you're gonna fall off the island." And I said, "I don't care, I see those little bugs." So there were roaches coming out of the rocks. Yeah. And then so Grandpa Tamamoto ran to his truck, and he got the insecticide spray for roaches. And because here's this city girl, and so he takes it and he squirts it in the crack of the rocks, and then all the roaches come running out, and I'm jumping up and down, and I'm going, ah!
I remember this story.
And he goes, "Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down."
He said sit down.
He told you.
No, actually, I think Dad, Uncle
Well,
Warren,
because it's
told me
right,
to sit
it's
down.
very easily to fall in, and it's very far.
It's a very big piece of Aunty Claire.
What are you doing to to the poor little
No, I
thing.
said these are very big pieces.
Sashimi pieces. That's okay.
Well, you can cut it in half.
That's okay.
You know what? You guys can make sushi. Like,
Make nigiri.
That's why we brought
Yeah.
the
Little nigiri.
Because we mix some sushi rice. So.
in the middle.
Going
The other thing was
was the
I had to use the bathroom.
Oh,
And they
Just
said,
go
oh,
off the
yeah,
edge.
no, they said, go back over there. Where's the cow pasture, right? And so they said, and it's dark. There's no lights, you know. So that you have to go back into the pasture to use the bathroom. And then your dad says to me, Uncle Warren says to me, oh, and try not to step in these big piles of turd.
yes.
Ooh.
He didn't say
Did you?
turd.
Did you manage to not?
I managed to use the bathroom without
Wait, so where did you use it though?
right on the ground.
Oh,
practice squat.
I thought you meant there's a bathroom.
No.
Okay, we're not. Not at the hotel here.
At the edge of the cliff. Remember?
Have you been to South Point?
I don't think
There's
I've been
nothing.
to South
There's
Point.
nothing out there.
My fish guy.
Oh, we were making poke.
So my fish guy
There was a whole intro that
also
said
said that we're making more poke. So he said this is an alternative to ahi right now. It's called Marlin, but he says it's just as good.
How much? So how much? Is
There's
this?
your poke.
This is
Billy.
much cheaper.
This is
There's your
cheaper.
poke cubes. Well, so we're making poke with all different mumbo jumbo fish here.
Not mumbo jumbo.
Interesting.
Seems a little bit mumbo jumbo.
See, it's a little lighter fish, more rose color.
actually a
And
pretty
so we
fish.
thought we could put it in contrast to the ahi.
So how much would you say the marlin is for those people that
Don't have a fish.
Well, you have a sashimi.
don't
Yeah,
have a fish guy and they wanted to make poke?
I think it's cheaper. I'm not sure. I have to look at the
Mine is
bill.
Oh, okay.
generally
She's-
cheaper.
So the last video that Aunty Claire, Billy, and Aly were in, I think was when we went to Las Vegas, right? Was it last time?
Maybe.
That was
Probably
was
Vegas.
Kobumaki before or after?
Kobumaki was before.
So if you haven't seen the Kobumaki video,
Oh my.
that video is super popular. You should check it out.
popular.
I'll put the link down below. But Aunty Claire makes the best Kobumaki. That was when we went to Papaloa and we were celebrating New Year's. So, but the last time I think the three of us were in a video
Vegas
together was Las Vegas when we took Grandma to Las Vegas.
Remember we went to Vegas, Grandma.
You remember Grandma?
Yep.
She said yes.
So how do you know what sashimi and what is poke?
See, this has a lot
it's-
of lines in it
Yeah.
and stuff. So when you eat it raw, it's more
It's not as
But
stringy.
this one,
This is ahi sashimi, and this is the Nigiri marlin. You shouldn't overcook it because then it'll be very tough to eat. Okay, so you have two kinds of poke. You have a kind of redder one, which is your ahi poke, and then on this one is your marlin poke. You can see it's a little lighter fish, right?
Just
You have to touch them.
I got it.
So Aly, when would you say you started to like raw fish?
I should to Japan.
Took a long time. Maybe only 10 years ago.
Wow.
Maybe. I did
That
used
seems
to.
kinda long.
I distinctly, well, it definitely wasn't in college because I definitely remember all my college friends would make fun. How are you from Hawaii and you're Japanese and you don't even like raw fish? Yeah.
Do you remember though, Aunty Claire? You gave me your poke recipe for my 4-H food show, and I won first place.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Do
So
you still
Did
have
you
that
give her
ribbon?
credit?
I don't know what the ribbon is, but I remember that. That's why I remember that.
I didn't know you were
was
making your
good.
poke that long.
I have.
What are you saying? We're that old?
Yeah.
We are old.
Yes.
Okay, I picked sweet onions to use, or Maui onions, or Texas sweet onions, because they're not as bitter, and sometimes the poke doesn't soak very long. So, and you don't want the poke to soak very long because then it gets too salty. So if you don't soak it too long, you don't want the onions to be bitter. Some people like the sharp taste. I personally don't, so I don't.
Me too. I think I would prefer it sweet.
Yeah. Or not as, you know, when you bite in it, not as...
It's not like you're eating an onion.
Cut it? Oh, you want to cut it? Okay, so cut it in and then line it all up. Do you know how to cut onions?
Why don't you show me how you want me to cut them?
I want you to cut
I
them
feel like I know how to
this.
cut them, but not the way you want.
And then you make it all even, and then you cut it like this.
A lot of
And then you put it like this. And I'll start it and you can follow, okay? So all you have to do is put kind of a rocking motion, like this. Got it? There you go. Just cutting these.
Good job.
No. Already failed.
They're too big. Big enough.
She's a pediatrician, not a surgeon.
Hey,
your fingers.
when it's a circumcision, you don't want me cutting too thin.
Put your fingers there.
I can't
Do it.
She can't do it with you judging her.
do it anymore. I'm nervous.
Look, see, Billy, do it.
Well, Billy is better
I
at
can
it.
do it, Allie.
Cari, I think you should try
Yeah,
too.
why isn't Cari having to try?
Just the end of it is gonna be hard.
So after we prepared our onions and our green onions and our 2 types of fish and cut it into bite-sized pieces of poke, we're going to get ready to prepare the sauce. And I explained to Cari that my poke is very simple. I only use 2 ingredients, sauce ingredients. So I use a measuring cup, and since we have this much poke, we're going to maybe use 1 cup of soy sauce.
Why do you like this brand of soy sauce? For Shoyu.
Because my fish guy said
It's all about the fish guy.
it's all about the fish guy. My fish guy said that to use this part, this type of shoyu, because it's a little not as sharp or not as salty, and we're going to use about, depending on how hot you want it, I usually use about 1 tablespoon of sriracha sauce. Now you have to remember, you can always add more sriracha. You can't take it out after you put it in. So I would go less first, and
You're
then
not
more.
a big spicy person.
Less is more.
You're
Less
not a
and
big
more.
spicy
And then you can
person.
add later.
Yeah.
The other thing you don't want to do is, okay, so I just kind of use a fork and I just kind of beat it up like this, or you can use anything to just beat it up or whisk it or whatever.
You want to whisk?
No. Most people don't have this.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. But the other thing you also have to be careful that you don't want to do, let's use the marlin. So we put the fish in there. The very first time I made poke, I made a mistake, and I decided to massage. We were making a lot, and so I decided to marinate it with my hand. Sriracha sauce on your hand puts a burning sensation on that you cannot get off.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You wash it with soap, it doesn't go away. It stays there. So you have your poke, and then you take some onions, maybe for color.
You need something to...
And then we just got the onions in there, and we don't add the green onions in right away because the green onions are the ones that are most fragile, so they'll get mushed up really fast. And you just dump the sauce in, and you just mix it up. And at the last minute, you add some green onions that are a little warm from the burner being on, and there it is. It's done. See? There you go.
And how long should we
Quick
sit
step, okay.
before we eat it? Like,
You should eat it right away.
You should eat it.
okay.
You know, once you add the soy sauce in, you shouldn't let it sit very long. And when I make it even for big parties, I don't let it sit long.
Oh, I didn't know
People
that.
just
Like less than an hour.
Not even. I would take this right out to the table and feed them.
Okay, well, how does it taste?
Like poke.
His favorite part. Okay, Allie, here.
Oh, this is mine.
I'll try one too. Let me get another set of...
No, you can have some.
Okay, cheers.
It's not very COVID friendly.
I know.
Chile.
Want to try poke?
That's very good. Very fresh. Not too spicy. So now you're doing the ahi poke.
This is a little less poke, so I'm just going to use less soy sauce. Ogo is the Hawaiian word for seaweed, and it grows off of coral, and it's like this.
You don't chop it smaller. You just throw it in.
No, you can just put it like that. Just do a few.
Put it like that.
Just be a few here.
I'm Malagasy over there.
Stuff.
Are you sure they're kind of big, those pieces? You're gonna feed it to me? What's going on here? Take it off the spoon. Well, the fish is a different fish.
Well, the sauce is the same.
Softer, this fish, yeah? Softer? Oh, yeah. This is the ahi. That's the marlin.
So the texture is different.
Yeah, that one is more.
That's fishy too.
Yeah. Something's fishy. Okay, so the last kind of poke that we'll be making today is taco poke. And one of the reasons why we're making this is because Reid doesn't eat raw fish. So he really likes taco poke. And we just wanted to try this out. We've never tried this before, but we found a recipe on the Star Advertiser, I guess. So what we're using today is already cooked taco that we bought from Marukai. And yeah, so it's very easy. We just had to slice it up and it looks like this. And then it said 1 cup of cucumbers. So we're gonna put a cup of cucumbers. I don't know if this is a cup. This looks like a lot. And it said like 1 tomato.
Oh, 1 cup of fresh cucumbers?
Tomato. I think that's what it said.
Interesting.
I read the recipe. Interesting, says Billy. And half an onion. So I cut some onion. And then just some shoyu. So we use Aunty Claire's Yamasa brand shoyu. This is, how many 6 tablespoons, yeah? 6 tablespoons, and then 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. And I guess we'll put in the ogo and green onion as well. Also, because we have leftover ogo and onions, we'll just add it in for a nice... Ogo first.
Because you're gonna mash it and the green onions will die.
We'll see how this tastes. And onions. It's very colorful.
Yeah.
It's very colorful.
Use the clear bowl.
So, after this, we are gonna be eating our poke on some sushi rice that we made earlier. So we have sushi rice and
nori too.
Sushi rice and nori, and I also cut some avocado.
Very fun. Thank you for inviting me.
I have some Ahi Poke and Marlin Poke and some cucumbers and tamaki flakes. I'm very excited. Good. Delicious and good sushi rice.
Can you tell the difference between like fresh ahi?
Yeah, only because I don't like when it's older because it gets really fishy. I don't like the fishy taste. I've never liked the really fishy taste.
Okay, so in my bowl I have a little bit of the Marlin poke and the taco poke over some sushi rice, and then I have some temaki flakes on top that I thought earlier were Rice Krispies, and what are Rice Krispies doing here? So it is very good. This makes a great lunch or dinner, so I encourage you to try some.
Okay, so we are trying our poke bowls. So what's in yours?
Taco.
And in mine I have the shoyu. I have the shoyu ahi poke. I have the taco poke and some sashimi, and I also have some avocado. Cheers.
Very good.
It's very fresh tasting.
Yeah. The tacos with ogo and some onion and some cucumber brings out the flavor.
It is hilarious.
It's a great family activity to do, I think, to make poke as a family.
Probably best if you eat fresh. And earlier, Cari's mom made sushi rice. So it's very good over the sushi rice.
So we're going to end this video here. But again, as always, thank you so much for watching. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.